everyone. Welcome to another episode of Tips in 10, where we give you the top tips in the least amount of time. This series is built to help you stay in the know without taking a chunk of your schedule. Today's guest is a motivational leader. He's a sales coach and the CEO of Workplace HCM, Frank Plum. Frank is a disruptor in the payroll and human capital management industry. He is innovative, he's analytical, he's forward thinking, and a business leader who builds consensus, collaboration, and accountability. Frank has led Workplace to one of the fastest growing payroll and human resource management companies in the greater Philadelphia area. I can tell you right now, this guy is the real deal. So let's give him a huge welcome to one of my closest buddies, golf buddy too as well, Frank Plum. Frank, it is so great to have you here today on Tips in 10. Welcome, brother.
Mike, thank you so much for having me. And all I can say is it's about time, buddy.
There's always going to be banter going on with us, folks. So just, get used to it. It is what
Let's
it
go
is.
with it.
But it's all good. And I'm excited for the content you're going to be dropping today, brother. And I got some questions for you. So let's get started right now. What is the benefit of outsourcing your HR?
It's a great question, Mike. The benefit of outsourcing HR really comes down to, saving time, saving money, and most importantly, keeping your business in compliance. When we're talking about time savings, think about, an entrepreneur or business owner. When they get into building their business, they're focused on growing the business and bringing in revenue. One of the things that they forget is to put all of the policies and procedures, like what's my PTO policy going to be? What's my uniform policy going to be? What is my, with COVID and everything that happened with COVID, what's that policy going to look like? And they just kind of forget to work on the business. They're working in the business, but they forget to work on the business. And that's the time savings that you get. And you can always have somebody like an office manager or a CTO or a COO or somebody be responsible for the HR. But again, then you're asking them to do another job that they might not even have the knowledge of. So saving time is huge right there. Money-wise, think about the cost of it with bringing in an actual HR person into your business. We're talking $70,000, $80,000, $90,000, and that's not even including benefits. So if you can outsource that, and I use this all the time, you outsource your IT, you outsource your marketing because you're not that creative, your IT because you're not that good at fixing computers, but why would you not, outsource your most valuable asset, which is your HR, because you're trying to grow your organization, your company, and your people. So outsourcing HR is definitely going to save the money as well. And the most important part is keeping your business in compliance. You don't know what you don't know. And that is HR. We come in and we basically look at everything. We look at your hiring processes, your onboarding processes, your separation processes, and everything in between. Investigation was when an employee complains about what's, somebody else, or harassment or diversity training. All of that has to be done. And that is what outsourcing HR is.
No, that is really good. And I got to think that COVID was absolutely crazy for you. And yes, everyone was probably just leaning on you. I know I did. What were some of the things that, in terms of COVID that, helped, your business, let's say even your business grow?
Our business exploded during COVID. And sometimes I feel guilty, and I know you've told me not to feel guilty about that, but it honestly exploded during COVID because a lot of people did lean on us. And it was really about, hey, Frank, we need to know how to, have our people go out on furlough. How do we do that? How do we bring them back? What's the, we're deemed essential, but, should we be wearing masks? There were so many different policies, remote work. That by itself, was an entire project. Then you had PPP loans, and you had EIDL loans, and all that kind of came in play. ERC, tax loans and retention credits. All of that came about, and basically we tried to push some of that stuff over to lawyers and CPAs, and they pushed it right back to your HR and your payroll company.
Got it. No, I know you were a game changer for us, and I so appreciated that. Is there like a particular size that a company should start thinking about outsourcing? I know for me, when I started, it was just my brother and I for many years. And then once we started, growing, and it was either, expand, outsource, whatever it was. I'd be curious to get your take on that.
Yeah. I mean, we typically see businesses around 10 employees, 15 employees that start thinking about outsourcing or saying, hey, we need HR. And it's usually like, oh, we forgot to put an employee handbook in place, or we have a policy that needs to be changed, or, we were here in New Jersey, we had New Jersey paid sick leave, that kind of, came out in 2018 or 19. And that really just kind of exploded as well. Those are very reactive approaches. My suggestion is, if you're thinking about hiring an employee, that is when you need to start, talking about having HR in your business, because there's a lot of things that you need to think about. Job descriptions, right? What's their growth plan going to be like? Are they just going to be stuck in a dead end job, or do we have a growth plan for that person? Are we going to start building an org chart for your business? Or what policies do we need this employee to follow? What is the expectations? And then obviously we're going to have times where we may have to separate from that person. So just one employee alone, and I hear it all the time where businesses are like, it's all family and friends here. And I said, that's even more reason for you to outsource your HR, because, family and friends can, when everything's going well, they get along. But when things don't go well, that's, again, a very reactive approach to, managing your business.
Yeah, and I know there's all different numbers and costs and whatnot, but just even for that first particular person, I mean, what could a company, a solopreneur or whatever that's getting ready to grow, I mean, what do they expect to spend?
So there's lots of different types of outsourcing your HR, from just helping them, look at basics from a handbook perspective and building out policies. And that can be done very just one time, come in, do a project and move out. And it can be anywhere between $3,500 to, $5,000, $10,000, depending on how in depth they really want to get. That can just be a one-time project. And then there's other times where we would want to put them on more of a retainer, where they're going to have, hey, we're planning on hiring 5 or 6 or 7 more people, and we're going to have a lot of questions along the way. We have just a basic, and it's not very expensive, a $99, a month. You can call us and ask us questions as much as you want. We're not really doing any work for you, but we're just answering the questions, and we're here to be a resource for you. And then we can get into actually being your outsourced HR department. And that's where we start getting into, a couple $1,000s to tens of thousands of dollars, depending on the size of your organization. But the solo entrepreneur, I always say, look, you probably only need our $99 package. We will help you build your handbook. We'll help you create the policies. We'll talk to you about job descriptions and whatnot. And if at any time that you have questions, just give us a call. We'll walk you through it. And I have organizations, no lie, that have close to 200, 300 employees that are just using the $99 as their HR. I don't recommend that, but they're using it, and at least it's something.
Yeah. No, look, you know what? It's an insurance policy too, because
Correct.
Honestly, there are certain areas that you have to spend money.
Yep.
And HR is hands down one of them. Especially, look, I mean, my brother and I, we didn't have a lot of experience, and we were so glad that we did that, when we were younger and adding people on. So it's very critical and definitely an investment that you should make. How about this? Now we're going to go, they were managing it in-house, so to speak, going from outsourcing, now going back to doing it in-house. Is there a particular time that should happen?
Yeah, yes and no. I always believe that outsourcing is going to be less expensive for the business. So if it's about cost, outsourcing is always going to be less expensive. But when you are outsourcing it, you're working with a company that is not just working with you, but working with other companies. So if you needed our people on site 5 days a week, even 4 days a week, that's where the suggestion from us is going to be, hey, it might be time to bring in that, outsourced HR person. And bring them in-house. Not one of ours, of course, because we need those people here. They're very valuable to us. But it's time for us to go look and bring somebody in. And we can actually help and assist in that process and work with you to bring that person in and train them on everything that we already put in place. And that's a very nice, smooth transition. And then we can step out and say, hey, we've done something really, really good for this organization.
No, that's really, really good. And, just even offering that benefit too is an exceptional thing for a company. So listen, thank you so much for dropping all of that content. Listen, it's just not going to just all be serious and just talking about business. We got to have some fun here too. All right. So we're going to do a little speed round questions. All right. And, I got 3 of them, so it's not going to be much. It's not going to be long, but I'm dying to know what your answers are.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. So number 1. Do you go by the 5-second rule when a food drops on the floor?
I live by it. I live by it. And if I can go back in time real quick and say, I was in fast food at one point in time when I first started out. We lived that 5-second rule.
I don't know if it was longer or 5 second. 5 second rule, I think it's an absolute must. I'm all about it. I'm game for five second rule. So is it sneakers or tennis shoes?
Ooh, I would go. I would go sneakers. Absolutely, 100% sneakers. But unless you're playing tennis, so if you play
know,
tennis,
and that's the thing. I talk to people like, oh, did you get tennis shoes? I'm like, I don't play tennis. I mean, if I was playing tennis, they'd be tennis shoes.
You play pickleball though, so would you not get a pair of tennis shoes for pickleball?
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
So last one, and then I want to be able to just for you to share on how people can reach out to you.
Sure.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
I love that question. I say yes, absolutely. A hot dog is a sandwich. I mean, bun, meat in the bun. Why would a cheesesteak be not the same thing as a hot dog? It's the same thing.
I totally agree.
It's meat in a bun.
Absolutely. And thank you so much. So how can our listeners get in touch with you, Frank?
All right. They can go to workplacehcm.com. That's workplace.hcm.com or at hcm.com. They can go there. You can call us at 856-334-9711. For me personally, you can always contact me at fplum@workplacehcm.com. That's my email. And those are the best ways to get in touch with us. But I mean, just give us a call. That's what makes us, a very attractive company for people to work for. We're not a ticket-based organization. We have, receptionists on site. All of our employees are in the same building. So when the phone rings here, somebody's picking up live and you're talking to a live person, and you can get myself or any other the people that can support you here at Workplace.
Awesome. Listen, it's all about customer service. You guys are crushing it. Great job. Thank you so much for joining us today, Frank, on Tips in 10. Peace.